Today I thought I'd talk about the reasons why I became an atheist, the events that led me to reason. This all started over 25 years ago. I used to be a member of a Nazarene church. I was a teenager. I was involved in all of their activities. I was quite fanatic. It's embarrassing. I do explain it away by saying my brain hadn't fully developed at that point in time. One of the most important events that ever happened to me back then was that our pastor uh, had a chance to join a group going to the Middle East on a Bible tour. They went all over the place to the different famous locations mentioned in the Bible. He did this long tour, came back and showed us a slideshow where he gave us a slideshow showing these monuments, showing these various archaeological sites, along with biblical passages that they relate to, and we were all pretty amazed. It was a pretty awe-inspiring thing. One of those events, one of those things that he showed us was he showed us the ruins of Tyre. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He showed us the Tyre, the Phoenician city that was destroyed according to biblical prophecy. And one of the things that he showed us was he showed us this bare rock. And you could see in his photograph that there was this bare rock with fishermen casting their nets on it. We were looking at this, and he read the passages from Ezekiel about the destruction of Tyre and how it shall be laid waste and no city will ever be built there again, and that its bare rock will be used by fishermen. And it was just so amazing to me. I mean, this was like inspiring. I was filled with the Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to call it, and it was just phenomenally important to me that to see this event happening. And so one day I was in school, secular school, and one of my teachers that I used to talk to periodically out of class was a Christian, and not in the sense of being. She was sort of a heretic of a Christian, I suppose, by my standards at the time, meaning she was pretty liberal, and she had gone to the Middle East, and so I had talked to her about this slideshow I had seen about the Middle East and about Tyre especially, and how phenomenal it was. And when I mentioned Tyre being completely destroyed and no remnants of it exist, she said actually they didn't go to Tyre herself, but she knew for a fact that Tyre was the fourth largest city in Lebanon and continuously occupied. In fact, one of the longest continuously occupied cities in the world. And I was like, no, 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 it's destroyed. I saw the rock. I saw the slide show. I saw everything about this. And she said, no, you need to check your facts. So I was really disturbed by this. And so I went to the library. I went to both our school library that weekend, and I went to the city library in Bremerton, Washington. And I started looking up books, and I found a Time Life book, I think it was. And it had a picture. It had one of those, two-page big photographs of Tyre, the harbor at Tyre, and I could see the rock off the harbor. The same rock, I'm reasonably positive, was the same exact rock that I had seen the photograph of. Just a closer picture of it. And I realized that he had taken a picture of that rock from the breakwater, which meant that when he took that photograph, all he had to do was turn 180 degrees to see the skyscrapers, the city that's modern Tyre. And I'm thinking, wow, I wonder, maybe he used it for effect. Maybe there's more to it than I know. And so innocently, not coming to question this man, not doubting him for 1 second. Remember, I practically worshipped this guy. I went to his office. I think it was a Saturday. I went to his office, and I walked in, and I said I had some problems. I'm troubled by these things, and I mentioned it to him. And of course, now the answer he should have given me, this is what he should have said, was, well, yes, the modern city of Tyre is this and that and not the same as the old city of Tyre, which was destroyed. Or he could have said, well, yeah, no, the photograph was for effect, but I didn't, I was trying to present the effect of this thing, not necessarily, whatever, any number of things he could have said. Instead, he started yelling at me. He got red-faced, and he told me that I was betraying my God, I was a liar. I was believing this teacher who was lying to me, and that if I had that little faith, that I have no business in his church. And he started yelling, and he basically threw me out of the office. I was like a 14-year-old kid, okay, and he tossed me out of my ass, and it was devastating. My whole entire world that day completely crumbled apart. Suddenly, all the little pieces things that he had said before, things that I'd heard in church that were like, well, that didn't make sense, but I let it go. It was like when you ever do a jigsaw puzzle and it's all confusing and you've got this big gap in the middle and you don't quite understand where everything goes, but you're willing to just work with it. And then finally you find one key piece, and as soon as that one piece goes into place, everything else falls in pattern. Well, that's what happened to me. I by that Sunday, I literally like lay in bed crying over this. It's kind of pathetic, but it was my whole world. This was my friends, my family, everything was hinged on this church and this relationship I had. And so I sat there and I realized by Sunday, it's like, there's no God. None of this makes any sense. If he lied about Tyr, then he lied about everything else. And then I started looking at all the other little doubts that I'd been having beforehand, and all of it's like, yeah, of course I had doubts because I'm a thinking being, and this simply isn't true, and it doesn't hold up under any kind of scrutiny. Anyway, I thought I'd tell my story. You can comment if you want. I'll hopefully post again. I got a number of different topics I'd like to talk about in the future. I'm just slow getting to them. And take care.